When my daughter was about a year and a half, we started teaching her how to count. I'd say 1, she'd say 2, I'd say 3, she'd say 4, I'd say 5, she'd say 6. You get the picture. And we kept doing that until she got to 20. And we were really excited. And then my dad comes over, and I was like, Dad, Zolani can count to 20. He's like, yeah, let's hear it. So Zolani looks at her grandpa and goes, 2, 4, 6, 8. And with each number, I cringe. And I look at my dad, and he has the same look. But then when he looks at her, he's smiling. And she gets to 20, and they're celebrating, and I'm like, oh my. And my dad was an educator. He taught in the university, he taught in high school. And so I say, Dad, how do we fix this? He said, you can't teach her to count by asking her to fill in the blanks. You have to teach her to repeat after you. It was a very important lesson. One of the first things kids learn in school are colors: red, black, white, yellow, and their numbers and everything else. When my son started going to school, he said, Mommy, why are we called black when we're brown? And why is she called white when she looks peach? And then we had to go to this church where they sang a song calling kids red, yellow, black, and white. Who were the red kids? In society, we know there are some codes that you don't break. There's that auntie's house you go to and you have to take off your shoes. And there's Thanksgiving when you must eat that awful thing, right? As kids grow, they learn the code that we teach through our interactions with them. We don't have to say it, but they're learning. My kids are learning the color code, and I'm on a mission to break the code. Typically, this beautiful lady at the bottom of the slide is aspirational. Our family has traveled across the globe. In Africa, Asia, that's the standard of beauty. My daughter looks at me and says, I want my hair to be straight, Mommy. And my son says, Mommy, why is my skin darker than yours? When my daughter was born, she was a shade or two darker than I am. And people who love me in my family, my friends, looked at my daughter and said, I wish your daughter was as fair as you are. Within the same culture, same race, there are nuances that black and white are not always black and white, right? Skin color is social, it's cultural, it's historical when we say black and white. This is my family and friends close and dear to my heart. And we all look different, all shades of brown and melanin. And these are the people who help form the conversations we have with my children. On a recent trip, I was at the airport and a cute little girl, little white girl with ponytails, her bag was right next to me. And she was paralyzed and would not come to me to pick up her bag. And her brother looked at me and her mom did, and she was apologetic. And her brother came and took the suitcase and walked away. And I smiled and I said, that was an opportunity, like these beautiful ladies in this picture, to have a color conversation. Like my dad said, don't skip, have them repeat after you. What are your children repeating after? Have a color conversation. Thank you.